Macho Talks Sports now. Macho Talks Sports. Macho Talks Sports. Macho Talks Sports.
Welcome to Macho Talks Sports, episode 11. I'm your disappointed yet excited host, Macho. The disappointment, we'll get to that a little bit later in the episode, but let's get straight into the excitement. The boys are back in town. How's it going, fellas?
Doing great, bro. I'm doing great.
Captain Jackson Doc going to play football.
I'm excited to have you. Round of applause for you guys. I appreciate you guys. You guys took the week off, and we're getting right back into it. Let's do this properly, though. Let's get into these introductions real quick. Introducing first, we're going to start with the Marine. And no, I don't mean John Cena. His team is 2-4, but he feels like he's 4-2 right now. Representing Big Blue from Aybar Report, we got Ryan Aybar. Moving on to the next one. This guy got a quarterback that was born in the darkness, molded by it. But somehow he's finding a way to make his team shine bright, representing the black and yellow. Macho Talks Sports' very own Daniel Flores.
That's right.
And then last, but certainly not least, his team has taken a couple L's recently, but the Revenge Tour has more dates left. So get your tickets while supply lasts. Representing Bills Mafia from City Boy Times, Gomez. We gonna get into it, man. We gonna get into this. I'm excited to talk some goddamn sports with you guys. And I'm just happy to have y'all back, man. Ultimately, I'm excited to have you guys back. I know you guys are excited to be back. We've been talking about it for a while now. Everybody was itching to get back. So we're going to have a great show lined up for you guys. Speaking of the show, normally we review every single game of the week and tell you what it is that stood out to us. But me and the boys have been talking about it and trying to make the show a little more conversational in the effort to embrace debate. So be sure to be able to agree and disagree and be able to kind of hash it out. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go into 8 different topics. We'll dive into it. And the first one will be right after this ad.
Hey Macho, what is Planet Euphoria?
Planet Euphoria is a clothing company based out of upstate New York with the best designs and sports tees on the market. They have everything from basketball, football, baseball, music artists, anime, and so much more.
Do they have any deals?
Right now, they have a buy one, get one 50% off promo for a limited time. But if you want to save just a little bit more, use code Macho Talks Sports for 25% off of your entire order.
That's so cool. I'm going to order some right now. What's the website again?
PlanetEuphoria.com. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description. PlanetEuphoria.com. Let them know that Macho Talks Sports sent you. So let's get into our first topic for today, man. The first topic for today is, of course, the goddamn Jets. When you heard I said I was disappointed in the intro, this is why the Jets lose to the Broncos in London 11-13. Obviously, with a winless team, there's always going to be a bunch of blame to go around. But my question for you fellas is, and we will be starting with Daniel first, what is the problem on this team?
Honestly, bro, I want to say I woke up early to watch this game, but I honestly saw the schedule. I saw the Jets flying overseas, play the Broncos, and I'm like, yeah, that they're going straight into 6. That's
Let me just get catch up on my sleep.
I did, however, kind of catch up a little bit. You know, I was having brunch with the family, and the little bit that I saw is literally the same issues that I've come to kind of say throughout time, especially having Justin Fields being on my team, is that he is a one-read quarterback or no read at all. And I know he was trying to improve. I know there was high hopes going into the Jets. I know he signed a decent contract and the Jets had faith in him. But I'm not saying he's the whole problem, but he is definitely part of the problem.
Okay. Okay.
That offense is very predictable simply because you can't throw the ball at all. Justin Fields, again, one read quarterback. There was even a play that I saw. I think everybody was open. He had at least 7 seconds to throw the ball, and he still takes a sack. Like, if you're a running quarterback, at least take off. That's literally what you're great at.
Yeah.
Make a decision. I think everything is all up here. He is not trusting absolutely his ability and anything going forward. It's gonna be tough. I don't know. It might be a quarterback change, but again, there's more dysfunction now as far as you guys are 6 games into a new coaching regime. There was a lot of optimism. There was a lot of possible culture change. I know it's only been 6 games, but I don't see any grit, any fight. The defensive team that was supposed to be the calling card and supposed to be Glenn's specialty, right? None of that has been truly implemented, even with having pillar guys on that defensive side. Then it goes back a little bit further up. Your owner, the way he handles things, it's just there's an issue all the way top and bottom. The Jets, unfortunately, have kind of become the Browns to a certain extent. And that sucks to say because I see the Browns twice a year. They're in my division. They're our kid. I sometimes I take them on field trips every once in a while. But other than that, I just get the hell out of here, bro. You're annoying me. I'm gaming or something. The Browns, like Browns Jets, almost in the same sentence, or are they in the same sentence? That's tough, dude. That is definitely tough.
So before I kick it off to Ryan, if you had to pinpoint one part of the team or is it the owner, is it the defense, is it the head coach? Like if you had to pick one, I know you said it's a mixture of everything, but like if you had to give one of them a little more credit than the rest of them, who would you say?
I think you can't pin it on Justin Fields. He's only been there a year. You can't pin it on Aaron Glenn. He's only been there a year. I think you have to pin it on ownership, general manager, everything that comes with the decision makers. Even trying to get Aaron Rodgers, yes, but there was still dysfunction. Before that, there was dysfunction in trying to find the right coach.
Right.
It honestly, ever since they let go of Rex Ryan, it hasn't truly come together for the Jets. Rex had those boys playing back in the day. And I know, because I know we faced each other in the AFC championship game. But ever since they let go of Rex, it's just this whole, I don't know, there might be a curse.
Okay. So you giving it to Woody Johnson, and then I'm going to go to Ryan. Ryan, if you had to pinpoint what was the issue with this team, what would you say?
So I'm going to work my way from the top to the bottom. So for as long as Woody Johnson has been the owner, Woody Johnson has pretty much been the main focal point of the issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the Jets, the organizational issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Woody Johnson's never selling the Jets. So we're going to move past Woody Johnson. Woody Johnson went out and found himself a head coach. His name is Aaron Glenn. I'm going to pretend to take off my Giants hat right now, and I'm going to pretend to put on a Jets hat, right? As a fan. If I was a Jets fan, I would be absolutely livid. Why? Because what did we talk about a couple weeks ago? With Aaron Glenn coming in here and introducing himself by saying, these are not the same old Jets. Without proving yourself, not a single game on the football field being played yet. You didn't prove yourself. You haven't earned the right to even think that. And yet you set that tone, you set that standard, you set that bar and expectation for yourself. And now you're right. It's not the same old Jets, because This is the first head coach in Jets history to start 0-6. Excuse me.
Mhm.
Right? So like the shenanigans on the sidelines, the dancing, constantly looking lost. Sunday was probably the worst clock management I've ever seen. I'm a Giants fan. I went through Joe Judge. Okay. I went through what's his name? Why am I drawing a blank
Tom
spot?
Coughlin?
No, not
Oh,
Tom
okay, okay.
Coughlin.
I was about to say he's pretty good.
Yeah,
No.
respect that.
Joe Judge, who's the guy that wanted to draft Patrick Mahomes? Why am I drawing a blank? Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
He coaches Nebraska now. Anyways, not Nebraska. Doesn't
It
matter.
don't matter.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay. On 4th and 1 from around the Jets own 47, right? 30 seconds left. Jets, no timeouts. Glenn chose not to run another play. They just ran the clock down. They're down 10-6. They're down. 30 seconds on the clock, no timeouts. Instead of maybe running the clock down to about, say, 5 seconds to get another playoff, they decide to just not run another snap. And it's like, and then when asked about it, he comes out and says, well, I didn't want to give the Broncos better field position. I'm sorry. What? I don't care that you're a rookie head coach. Like, me from my couch, like, I'm willing to have like the competence to make a decision like that. Like, so you set the tone and the standard and the bar. These are not the same old Jets. That's how you start. You know, week after week, it's like you go from a defense who's formidable, at least a pretty decent defense last year, to a defense that's unrecognizable. They finally just got their first takeaway this past Sunday. I mean, it's a disaster. And I'm honestly, I like thinking about it makes me mad, like as if I'm a Jets fan. I watched that whole game from beginning to end. It is disgusting.
I'm sorry you had to do that, by the way.
The Jets ended with 82 total yards.
Yeah.
Minus 10. The worst net passing yards in franchise history, like in any game ever. First NFL head coach to start 0-6 for the New York Jets.
Yeah.
You set that tone. You set that. I told you from the beginning. I told you during training camp that I had a problem with that. These are not the same. I'm sorry. You did not earn anything. You did not prove anything. You didn't step on the field yet to be saying things like that. And now you're 0-6. So now who do you like? Who's to blame? You did that to yourself, man.
Okay. So you putting that blame on AG, right? Just to clarify.
Yes.
Okay. And then Omar, who do you blame for the Jets' problems here?
It's just so many. I can put so many ways and so many people to blame. But I'm gonna just start off right off the rip and tell you that I'm gonna start with the head coach, and I'm gonna tell you why. There's supposed to be a heartbeat on the field. When your team is out there, there's supposed to be a heart. When he allowed the clock to just run out, the heart stopped. Your players are looking at you to make the proper calls. And I'm speaking to you as a fan, and I'm gonna put my Jets cap on. When he let that happen, I know in the player's mind, they're like, what is going on? Did he give up? We said this a couple of weeks ago. There's a system in place to get not only your stars to succeed, but the team to succeed. It's like in basketball. You build the system, and you build the players around the system to make it work. And he just looks lost. He looks like he just lost his team. His team does not respect him. As they were walking off the field, you could see the frustration. You could see it. Like, I don't understand. Like, for all that, like Ryan said, for all that you were talking about before you hit the field, to end up like this, it's a blow. It's a blow to the Jets. And it's like, they don't need a miracle. They need an identity. They need a plan. They need to execute. It's about identity. Again, we speak about this every week. The Jets don't have an identity, and the coach is not working hard enough to create that identity. It was the defense. It's not that anymore. Nobody's intimidated by the Jets defense. Last year, People were actually scared to play the Jets because of that defense. But the defense is not showing up, and neither is the head coach. And I believe the head coach is the problem. It's truly the problem.
So I'm going to say that this game in particular was Justin Fields and Aaron Glenn's fault for the same reasons that you guys are echoing, where that 4-1 in the first half just doesn't run a play, lose a mentality of, I just don't want them to have the ball, even though we're currently down at the time. We need to score. Who cares about if they get the ball or not? We need the points.
Didn't trust Justin Fields.
And maybe that's what it was. And Justin Fields had a terrible, terrible game on Sunday morning. There's absolutely no way around that. But what I would say is a lot of people are calling for Justin Fields' job right now. And I think they're sadly mistaken. I'm going to go down these games real quick. In game 1, Flores knows he was there. The defense gave up 34 points. Special teams had a costly fumble in the fourth quarter. Fields went 16 for 22, over 200 passing yards, a touchdown, and 2 rushing touchdowns, no turnovers. In the second game against Buffalo, Omar was there. The whole team played like crap. They completely destroyed us, offense and defense. There's not one person that you could put that on. That was a whole team ass whipping, right? Brees had 29 rushing yards on 11 attempts. The Bills ran for over 200 rushing yards. Fields went 3 for 11, only 27 passing yards, 56 rushing yards, and a fumble. He left the game with a concussion. Week 3, we go against Tampa Bay, obviously. Justin Fields still has that concussion, so Tyrod is playing. He comes in, he has a decent game. But guess what? The defense gives up 29 points to the Bucs. They're down Godwin. Mike Evans goes down. We get a blocked field goal in the fourth quarter with less than 2 minutes left and score. We have the lead, and then we still, as a defense, let them get into scoring position to get that field goal to end the game. In game 4, against the damn Dolphins, we got Justin Fields coming back. The defense gives up 27. At this point, 27 is the lowest that we gave up all season, and this is against the Dolphins. To remind you, Tyreek Hill broke his damn leg in this game, and we still gave up 27. Like 27 points. We had Isaiah Williams take a fair catch on the 2-yard line. The 2 goddamn yard line. Justin Fields, 20 for 27, 226 yards, a touchdown. He also led the team in rushing with 81 yards on 7 carries and a rushing touchdown. He did have a fumble, but that's 1 turnover. Out of all the 27 points that they gave up, game 5, another obliteration, as you can see there, 37-22. Same thing with the Bills game. It was bad all around, but Justin Fields, 32 for 46, 283 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is his 3rd game at this point with a passer rating over 100 and a completion percentage over 69. Giggity. Like, at this point, we cannot be putting all this blame on him. Now we go up to game 6. The defense finally shows up. This is the first time we held a team to under 20. We held them to 13. That's amazing. Now Justin Fields has this terrible game. AG has a bad coaching game. But out of these 6 games, 5 of those games, we gave up 27 or more points. Like this, there's no one else that I can blame other than the defense. There's absolutely no one. If we're talking about game 6, fine. We put that on Justin Fields. You want to put that on Aaron Glenn too? That's cool. I'm completely fine with that. But game 1 through game 5 was completely the defense's fault. And we can't even put that on Aaron Glenn in totality, in my opinion, because these defense, in every level of the defense, we have an all-star caliber. We have Quentin Williams on the defensive line. We have Sherwood and we have Quincy Williams on the linebacker side. We got Sauce that's supposed to be one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and we don't figure it out somehow. They're playing with absolutely no grit. You wanted to say something, Ryan?
Oh, no, I was just going to say that the Broncos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Jets defense, right?
Right.
The Broncos have one of the worst offenses in the NFL, technically. I'm not minimizing how the Jets defense played. I only bring that up because the Broncos played the Titans in week 1 and Tennessee kind of exposed that offense as not a very good one.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought that up because I wanted to mention something about the defensive coordinator and Aaron Glenn. So before Sunday, obviously Sunday was your first big takeaway of the season, right? Before Sunday, Aaron Glenn was asked about possibly stepping in and influencing the defensive coordinator.
Right.
And he said no.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Now, Aaron Glenn, as you all know, is a defensive mind. He's a defensive,
Yeah.
right? Defensive. He came from Detroit, defensive guy,
Yeah.
right? With the Jets way back when. Now, my thing is after 5 weeks of the same result, being the only team in the NFL with no takeaway, and yet your first takeaway is against one of the worst offenses in the NFL statistically. Why, as a head coach, are you not making that adjustment?
Because he's not the defensive coordinator. That's the defensive coordinator's job. He's the head coach. He has more than one hat that he has to put on. I put that on Steve Wilkes. That's his job. That's his assignment. And he's the one that's fucking up. He's the one that's not making the adjustments that need to be made. And to put that on Aaron Glenn, I don't think that's fair. You want him to be the head coach and the defensive coordinator? If he was going to be the defensive coordinator, he would have took that job.
I mean, it is fair. It's 100% fair because when and I'll use the Giants as an example. When granted, the only difference is that Aaron Glenn is a first-year head coach, and I understand that, right?
Exactly.
He is a first-year head coach, so I will give him that. And this is not to say that in the future that it won't work. However, I will say that with the Giants and Brian Daboll and Wink Martindale in his second year, defense wasn't performing. Guess what? Like, Brian Daboll, you're the head coach. Make the call. Like, Wink Martindale was out of there in like 3 weeks. My thing is like, yes, he's not the defensive coordinator, right?
But you want him to play defensive coordinator. That's what it sounds like.
But Brian Daboll is the head coach. He's not the OC. But guess what? When the offense started taking, what did he do? Hey, I'm calling plays now.
Just like Andy Reid.
But also, Brian Daboll has been a head coach for how many years in this league? You even said it yourself.
Now at this point, yes.
But this is his first year as a head coach. There's so much of a learning curve that he even has to adjust to. Shit that he's still trying to get right. As you saw how he coached in Game 6, making these terrible calls, making these bad decisions.
That's true. But if you got hired to be the head coach, it is technically your call to be like, hey, the defense is not cutting it. You just broke down literally every single game of how the defense is not up to par. Like, I'm a defensive guy. Like, let me maybe step a little bit back from the offensive side of the ball, even though that definitely needs a lot of help as well. And let me actually put in my hat a little bit more effort and probably call the plays in game or have some type of in-game adjustments, and not just leave it all on your DC. Because I mean, you're saying that he's not cutting it, and Ryan's saying is that he needs to step up to the plate and be a head coach.
And I'm saying that technically it is his call. He can even fire his defensive coordinator if he wanted to. That's his call. But as a first-time head coach, he's trying to believe in his people. He's trying to believe in his staff. If he takes away the defensive calling from his DC 5 games into it up to this point, because he played pretty decently for Game 6, the defense did. That's completely taken away that's taken away his confidence at that point. The defensive coordinator at that point just becomes a clipboard. Like, what he's not really going to do anything. He's not 100% invested in this. I'm not saying that later down the line maybe he won't do that, but I think there's a lot of stuff that AG still has to learn as a head coach before he starts dabbling back into defensive coordinator, when he has somebody that's in that position getting paid, and that's their damn job.
Do the Jets typically play a lot of zone or more man?
So we kind of switched it up. We play a little bit of both, but like the defensive scheme's different this year. Like where Sauce would play just one side of the field, now we got him shadowing the cornerback. I mean, the best wide receiver and stuff like that. So it's changed in philosophy a little bit, but I will 100% still put that on Steve Wilkes. And even if you guys feel like, let's say AG should take control of it, I'm not going to say that you shouldn't feel that way. But what I would say is, because he's not stepping in and taking that away from the DC, we can't give the DC a pass of how shitty of a job he's been doing. Like, that's still on the defensive coordinator at the end of the day.
I'm sorry, man, but when your defense goes from a very, very, very formidable, you said it yourself. They have like very, very good positional players on both sides of the football. On their defense, they have on paper, they have a really good defense. They could be very good. When your defense goes to very formidable to being unrecognizable, and through 5 weeks of the season, nothing has changed, and you're giving up 27 points to the Miami Dolphins, coach, do something. I'm not saying he has to strip him of his duties. However, Brian Daboll, there has been times where Brian Daboll steps in and because that's also part of leadership.
But Daboll's
right?
also been we can't negate the fact that this is his first year as a head coach. That plays a big factor into it.
Brian Daboll's first year was a winning year. So I can't tell you what he would have done if we were 0-6.
So
but
then we
knowing
can't
how he's reacting, but I can because
Why?
I can.
Why?
Because he still made an adjustment when it needed to be done.
In his first year?
I don't. No.
So then we can't use him because that wasn't his first year as a head coach.
It doesn't matter. You know why? Because this brings
his whole season.
It doesn't matter. Right. Exactly. 6 games into this whole season, right? And you're coming in here talking like you're freaking Bill Belichick. These are not the same old Jets. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. That's my problem. And so that's why he should be held accountable.
Because he said this isn't the same old Jets. That just means that automatically what? Like what's so bad about him saying this isn't the same old Jets? What's so bad about him having some type of conviction? So what? He's trying to have some conviction in his players and give his players some confidence. That's the type of stuff that you're supposed to say.
To your locker room, not to the media.
No, to the media you say that to the media to send a message to the locker room to let them know I'm behind you boys.
No. Not when you haven't played a game. Not when you have not played a game.
So if we played the game and we won the first game in the season, that means that he's completely right for saying this wasn't the same old Jets? Or does he still have to keep winning more games?
But guess what? It looks a lot different than being 0-6.
But
coming in here hot.
But the answer is no, right? The answer is no. So if we win game 1, that still doesn't negate that he shouldn't say this is the same old Jets, right? Because that's only 1 game into the season?
Sure.
So then how come after Jackson Dart has a good game in his game 1, he's automatically the franchise quarterback for the next 10 years?
We can't play this what if. He did have a good game 1.
No, I'm not saying what if. This is facts. He had a good game in game 1. You came out and multiple fans came out and said that this is the franchise quarterback of the next 10 years after 1 game. What gives you the right to have that type of conviction into this player that had 1 decent game? Because it wasn't just him. It was the whole team that had a decent game. But he didn't have some eye-popping numbers. He didn't put up 300 passing yards. He didn't have 100 and something rushing yards. He had a decent enough game in order to win the game, but that was enough to give you the conviction to say the way that you felt. I'm saying that AG had some conviction in his boys to try to give them some confidence.
Again, nobody's sitting here saying that he's not the guy in the future. I'm simply telling you that he is the guy.
I'm just talking about the statement of saying that you have conviction in Jackson Dart for the next 10 years after 1 game. He hasn't proved anything.
Jackson Dart is the first, but he did. He's the first rookie quarterback since Patrick Mahomes to lead a 65-yard or longer touchdown drive in his first drive. That's all it takes.
That one stat, the fact that he led a 65-yard opening drive, that means he's automatically going to be nice for the next 10 years?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on. So what I was gonna say was
let's go back. No,
go ahead.
I think that weighs more than
one opening drive weighs more than what? Because I want to focus
against one of the best defenses in the NFL. Yes,
it's 1 drive.
Okay.
So off of 1 drive, it doesn't matter who the defense is. Off of 1 drive, you can determine the career of the next 10 years of somebody.
Well, let me ask you a question. What's more likely? We're in present, right? Present day. Right. Jackson Dart has had 3 starts now. Aaron Glenn has had 6 games in the NFL. What is more likely? That Jackson Dart is a quarterback of the New York Giants for, say, the next 10 years, or Aaron Glenn is the guy and he's going to turn this ship around? What's more likely right now?
So when you say the guy, like, turn the ship around, what does that entail?
He's the head coach of the New York Football Jets for the
In the next 10
foreseeable
years?
future. For the foreseeable future.
Oh,
Coaches don't last.
Aaron Glenn then. Aaron Glenn.
Coaches don't last that long.
Right. So that's why I'm trying to determine exactly what it is in this scenario that you're trying to give me. If it's the next 10 years, because if it's the next 10 years, then it's probably Jackson Dart. But if you're talking about just in the foreseeable future, next 1-2 years, Aaron Glenn is more likely to be the head coach than Jackson Dart to be the unquestionable franchise quarterback for the next 10 years. Because you can have a whole good season, not just one good game, not just 2 good games out of 3, because you also lost to the Saints. You can have a great, phenomenal rookie season and still flame out. It happens all the time. Exactly. It happens all the time. And also it determines there's a lot of different determining factors, because CJ Stroud, I don't think is that bad of a quarterback, but there's a lot of shit that he has to battle with that offensive line. The defense.
He's also apparently 24 going on to 40, but that's a different story.
Right. But regardless, but my point is that just he did have a good game. Even last against the Eagles, which we will talk about later on. He had a really damn good game. That's not enough to determine for the next 10 years, but you felt that conviction in your heart. And I'm saying AG felt the same way when he said this isn't the same old Jets. That's okay.
What convict that? But that's my point. All right, we're
going in circles, but end it.
Yes.
Go ahead.
What conviction do you have as either a fan or a player in that locker room to have any form of I guess not belief, because you still don't know, it's early, but like my point is Aaron Glenn needs to step in and be a better leader. That's just ultimately what it comes down to.
And I won't argue that. I'll give you that. He needs to be
If
better.
I was a Jets fan, I want to hear him come out and just simply say, "Hey, I got to do a better job." That's just, there's no excuses.
I
just got to do it.
He has said that.
He did technically over this week. He did own up to it. He did own up to the fact that that last play call was totally on him as well. It's just, and I get what you're saying, Torres, and I get what you're saying, Ryan, as well, because you can reach your team through the media, and as a first-time head coach, you do want to set that precedent. I completely understand that, because that is what you have to kind of do. But then I also do understand that something like that has to be said in the locker room as well, before you present it to the media. So it's just reaching your locker room through the media, to me, is not the greatest thing. I know Tomlin doesn't do it. He rarely does it. He talks to his players first, and then very little. Bill Belichick was a great example of that. Yeah. He barely said anything to the media and all that, and then let the players kind of handle it on the field. But I get both of you guys' points. I kind of agree with both of you guys' point at the same time.
Everyone leads differently.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
Correct. And at the end of the day, I'm just saying we're already 6 games in, and now is the time for him to actually be that guy that he mentioned, that Ryan, that kind of ticked off Ryan, that he said, this is not the same old Jets. Well, now is the time to prove it. Now show me
for sure
that, like, okay, the defense is ass. Let me make a move. It maybe is a major change. Maybe it's not. Maybe something we don't hear about, but just do something. In other words,
what kind of runway do you give your team? Like, it's almost like you shot yourself in the foot, and you shot
the Jets. They always have a runway.
Well, but God, but I'm saying, like, what kind of runway do you give them for like any kind of, like, it's like, you are, oh, these are not the same old Jets. Oh, let's go. We got our guy. And then it's like, there's 0-6.
0-6 is terrible.
You set yourself up, like, you put the freaking bar up here.
He didn't put the bar. That's where I disagree. I don't think that's saying we're not the same old Jets. It's not saying we're about to win the Super Bowl. That's where I think the disconnect comes to, where him saying that was like a higher thing for you, and for me it was more just like being like, I'm with these guys. That's it.
It was higher when your defense goes from very formidable to unrecognizable and you're also 0-6, and you're also
But you
the
can also
first
say
head
on the
coach in franchise history to start
0-6.
0-6. So like
We're not saying I'm not saying he's a great coach right now. He's not doing a good job at being a head coach. I'm not saying that he is good, Flores.
The reason why I didn't put it on Aaron Glenn is because you saw the Lions head coach, right? Dan Campbell and his
Yeah,
onions. He
sure.
went in and he said, we're gonna start biting people's, I think, nails off or
Ankles or
whatever the hell
something.
he
I
said,
think it was the
ankles and that
ankles.
stuff.
Yeah,
And then they started, what was it, 0-11?
yeah, it was
Or,
terrible.
or it was
Sounding
not,
crazy.
and now look at them. So it does take time to establish a culture, but I'm pretty sure Dan Quinn went in there and did all the necessary changes, and then he trusted his ownership and
Yeah.
his general manager to make the adequate acquisitions for his team moving forward.
And they believed in him too.
And that's
They
the
could have got
part
rid of
that I
him.
worry
Yeah.
for you, Torres, and that's why I'm saying, like, to this point, ownership and the general manager, they haven't proven to me that they're able to build a adequate team.
Not yet. And also, this is their first year. They only had one off season with this team. They're still trying to evaluate stuff based on their standards. I don't know what the hell their standards are, but I also think that this is determined by what is your expectation going into the season. And even as a Jets fan, I did not expect this team to be a playoff team. We all knew that there was going to be a lot of hurdles going on to this season. The fact that we're 0-6 kind of plays into it even better because now I get to see what the hell these boys is really about. Are they going to just quit on the season and just sit on their hands or something? Or are they going to actually step up? And that doesn't just go for the players, that goes for the head coach as well. What the hell is he going to do? How is his press conferences and post games going to go from week 7 to week 8 to week 9 to week 10? If we're still losing, is he still going to have the same mentality? Is he going to switch it up? This is all the type of stuff that we need to see how they develop in the future. But we have spent a lot of time on this, so I am going to end this one here. And we're going to go on to this next team right now. This next team is the Bills. Now, they're not 0-6. They're not 0-6. Far from it, actually, but they did lose 2 straight. Omar, you've been pretty quiet for a while. What is the problem with these Bills? Are the Bills cooked?
I'm going to put it to you like this. If they don't recharge that battery that had them going for the first 4 weeks, they're cooked. Because you can see in the last 2 games that it's not the same energy. It's not the same team. It is not the same offense. On top of the Josh Allen with these turnovers. And I feel like where was the O-line in these last 2 games? Like, I feel like Josh Allen has been getting hit a lot more these last 2 weeks than in the first 4 weeks. Now, again, we're going back to the conversation that we had in the first couple of weeks, the lack of weapons. Now it's starting to show that he needs a receiver. Now, as you get deeper into the season, the same thing is not going to work. Teams are starting to watch tape. They're starting to see your tendencies. They're starting to see what your route is. And they're starting to remember now, you don't have weapons. This team needs to start with the next man up. That's what they need. That's the mentality they need to have. We don't have the specific player, but that means that the next person has to step up.
Yeah.
That Patriots game was winnable. They could have won that game. This last game, destroyed. I was watching the game and I was sitting there like, who am I watching? Again, I say this every week. Where is the real Josh Allen going to come out of that tunnel and be the quarterback that we don't know him to be? Are they cooked? No. Am I concerned? Yes. It's like I said,
Okay.
it's like the battery's turned off now.
Yeah. Low battery mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then Ryan, do you think that the Bills are cooked after these last 2 losses?
No, I think the Bills just ran into a team that could run the hell out of the football. The Bills are 28th in rushing defense. So I think the Falcons just took advantage of that, right? The Bills actually they adjusted though, right? Like even though they lost, they did adjust. In the first half, Buffalo allowed 335 total yards in the first half. And then they held Atlanta in the second half to just 3 points on 108 yards. So ultimately, I think the Bills,
Killing me here.
like, let's just call it what it is. The Bills have Josh Allen as their quarterback.
What a cry.
They have a great rushing attack. Their defense is pretty respectable. Like, they're not a bad defense. Their rushing defense, on the other hand, they got to clean that up. But, I mean, outside of that, like, I think the Bills will be just fine.
They're good. And then what do you think, Flores? Are the Bills cooked?
They're not cooked. They're not cooked, and for the simple reason is that they still have Josh Allen at quarterback. And anytime you have a perennial MVP candidate and just won the MVP, you're always going to have a chance. Honestly, and what Omar was bringing to light there is the lack of weapons. They did lose Dalton Kincaid. They lost Curtis Samuel, and it's just Josh Allen can only be Superman for so long, right? At some point, he's gonna find kryptonite, and he did, and that Falcons defense that
Patrick
actually
Mahomes.
made him play.
Sorry.
Yeah, made him. yeah. That's his dad. Anyway, yeah, Patrick Mahomes has 2 kids, and Josh Allen is one of them. Lamar Jackson's the other one. Yeah. Anyways, that defense is also missing key players. They're not great at stopping the rush. We know that. I mean, when they played the Ravens, Derrick Henry actually looked respectable. He did have that long rushing touchdown also in the playoffs again. They allowed an 80-yard touchdown, which, by the way, Bijan Robinson, thank you for actually running into the end zone with the football as opposed to just chucking it anywhere else. I respect that. So, no, they're not cooked. They're good. They're going to get pieces back. That they do need a weapon, yes. That they should start calling around to maybe the Saints or the Raiders or anything like that for Myers, and they do need another weapon to complement Josh Allen when he does need that extra, just somebody to get open. Just get me somebody open. James Cook can't do it all.
Yeah, I kind of agree with all of you. I think we're all going to kind of focus on the same points. I like the way that Omar put it, where the Bills aren't cooked, but is he worried? Yeah. And I feel the same way. I think they're in trouble. I wouldn't say that they're completely cooked, but they're being exposed for their lack of playmakers. Their one playmaker that you can count on was James Cook, and he's been kicked out the kitchen. He's only averaging 68 yards in his past 2 games. This was one of the best running backs throughout the best 4 weeks, and he's not able to get it going. And it looks like if you're able to stop James Cook and just make Josh Allen have to throw to these mediocre receivers, that's the formula right there. Mm-hmm. Also, if you could run on them, even better. But Josh Allen has 4 passing touchdowns in these past 2 games, which is great. But then he also has 3 interceptions. He also has 3 fumbles. He only lost 1 of them. But that's 4 turnovers to 4 touchdowns. That's not a recipe for success. The offense only goes as far as Josh Allen and James Cook takes them. And if you take James Cook out of it and try to make Josh Allen beat you, he might be able to get away with this sometimes, but it's not a definite. And that just goes to the lack of playmaking on the receiving core, as everybody's basically saying. I mean, I think Myers is a good call for them. That's somebody that I don't think that would be too expensive for them to get. And the Raiders aren't doing anything anytime soon, so why not try to get a pick for him or something like that? But they need to be in that trade market. They need to be hitting up some phones, and they need to see what's going on. And if they don't, I'm worried for them. But at the same time, I don't want to see. Yeah, I was about to say. At the same time,
maybe not.
They're in my division, so the more they lose, the better I feel.
They're beatable. It's okay.
Yeah. But now what we're going to do is we're going to kick it over to Ryan for this next one to kick it off. This is something that you guys spoke about in that extras episode where the Giants ended up beating the Philadelphia Eagles 34-17. The way that I wanted to phrase this question was, is this a bigger win for the Giants or is this a bigger loss for the Eagles? I'm going to fix that on the banner real quick. But Ryan, I'm going to have you start this one.
Definitely a bigger win for the Giants. As much as everybody wants to talk about the Eagles imploding, nobody expected the Giants to be in this game at all, right? They dominated both sides of the football. They stopped the run. They got to the quarterback. They won the turnover battle. On top of that, even special teams did what they had to do. Special teams returned the football and positioned the Giants in great field position all game long, like literally all game long. I don't think Gunnar Olszewski had one bad kick return. And this is without no Malik Neighbors
Yep.
or Darius Slayton. They ran the football down Philly's throat. So bad, by the way, that Zadarius Smith retires 4 days later. And you know, honestly, the talk of the day was just Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo. I mean, it was magical. Honestly, as a Giants fan, it was just magical. It took the whole NFL world by storm, and like there's buzz around the Giants. Nobody's talking about the Giants going to the playoffs or competing for the Super Bowl. Nobody's talking about any of that. But there's finally hope. There's finally a foreseeable future in the right direction with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo. I mean, these guys look like they've been the best of friends for years. It's almost like the football gods knew that they should be on the same team.
Soulmates.
Yeah. And it was awesome to watch. The Eagles, who cares what's going on that side? Let them implode. The Giants did what they had to do. Cam Scatterbo, 3 rushing touchdowns, 98 yards. Jackson Dart did his thing. It's absolutely a bigger win for the Giants, 100%.
And then Omar, I'm gonna kick it to you on this one. What do you think? Is this a bigger loss for the Eagles or a bigger win for the Giants?
A bigger win for the Giants, absolutely.
I'm sorry, your mic. You got the wrong one. There you go.
Yeah. remember what I told you earlier about that heartbeat?
Yeah.
The Giants have it. They have it. They're confident. You can tell that it's different to just play a game just to play it than to play it because you love it. And you can see on the field they love what they do. These I call them kids because they're young, but they're having fun. It's not a job for them. It's like going to the park to play ball. Like that's what it is for them. Let me go with the boys and throw a ball around. That's how they're looking at. The Giants are looking good. It's a big win for the Giants. And I don't talk about the Eagles because I don't care for them. But if the Giants continue like this, there is hope. There's a bright future in Big Blue.
And then Flores, do you think this is a bigger win for the Giants or a bigger loss for the Eagles?
I think it's obviously a bigger win for the Giants. The Eagles, I've been kind of in my hot takes and my let them cook. I've been kind of clamoring for somebody to beat them because they've been beatable. It's just they've been getting away with like lucky, or maybe it's just a skill. I guess you win the Super Bowl, you do tend to learn how to win those close games, and you know the ball does find a way. But the Giants, they seem to have found the heartbeat. They seem to have found their guy. Not only in their quarterback, but in their running back. Scatterbo is going to have the greatest 3-year career because that man is just running through everything.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. He'll last the 3 years.
Yeah.
I noticed, the Eagles were having issues passing the ball. We know that Jalen Hurts struggles with the blitz packages and kind of getting off that read. Their offense has become very predictable. They've even spoken about that. Their players have spoken about that, how the way they line up is actually a tell if they're going to pass or run. Barkley's been pulled up because of that reason, or just because their offensive line is not as great as it once was. So when I saw that the Giants front four had a chance to get and put some pressure on Jalen Hurts, I kind of had a feeling, and I told Ryan, I told all you guys, like, I have a feeling that, the Giants might be able to pull this off, and they showed up in the division. They gave them the business, and belt to ass.
No, they definitely showed up. For me, I'm going to say this is a bigger loss for the Eagles. Now, first, before I get into the Eagles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the Giants absolute credit for the way they played. Smash mouth, punched them in the face, punched them in the mouth. Cam Scatterbo running over absolutely everybody. Jackson Dart playing well. The reason I'm going to say that this is a bigger loss for the Eagles is because the Giants are playing with house money. Whether they win this game or lose this game, I don't think that changes the trajectory of their season. because they're still just in the phase of trying to figure out what it is exactly that they have so they know how to move on next year with this team. So I think they're playing with absolute house money, and you can see the carefree football that Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbull play with. And it's so infectious that it runs into the defense. We've been speaking about the defense before the season even started, about how they were a scary, absolute scary defense. Yep. They're finally starting to show it as soon as Jackson Dart takes over, because they're getting that life pumped into them. So I want to give all the credits to the Giants for this game. Now, to focus on the Eagles, the reason I think that this is a bigger loss for the Eagles is because there's expectations that comes with the Eagles season. They're coming off of a championship. This isn't the same team that they had last year, though. They're in these last two games, they're averaging 17 points. They're giving up 27.5. They're 3-20 on third downs in these last two games. Mm-hmm. Their locker room has issues. This isn't the same championship defense. This defense last year was scary as hell. That's what kept them into a lot of these games. They don't have that defense anymore. And it's showing in every single game. And even in the games that they're winning, they're just getting away with wins. They're not winning because they're dominating. The same way that the Giants just dominated over the Eagles haven't done that to anybody in all of their 4 wins. This team lives and dies by the tush push. It's as simple as that. They run 10 plays, and if you could figure out which one of those 10 plays they're running, they have no answer for it. They have absolutely no answer for it, and they're just going to define themselves by a group of people pushing Jalen Hurts' ass into another group of people, and that's all. That's all, and they have to fix that. Go ahead, Ryan.
I just want to – I'm glad you brought up the tush push. I mean, this game, we could be talking about a potential 14-point swing because of the tush push. Because if you saw on that, they ran it 4 times in a row. Yep. On that 4th time, it was a 4th and 1, and their linemen jumped. Yep. And the announcers
jump
called
every
it out.
time.
Yep.
This is what they're checking for, but nobody's calling anything.
Nobody's calling anything.
Yeah,
and
100%.
And it would have been a turnover on downs. And who knows, if the Giants score on that drive, maybe we're talking about a 41-10 game instead of 34-17.
100%.
So I just wanted to bring that up. But
no, and that's worth bringing up, because that was very blatant. And now I'm hoping that not only is this brought to the attention of obviously people in the NFL, but it's also brought to the attention of the general public by showing that replay, to show that not only is this kind of a cheap move to just run the tush push, but even on the cheap move, they're cheating on it. So it's like something has to be done here, whether that is that they actually call it better on the field or they ban it completely, one or the other, but something has to happen.
So that's also the issue, right? Because hurt. Yeah, exactly. Right. No, that you're 100% right. Jason Kelce used to hate it because he had all the weight of absolutely everybody on his ass, which is that must not feel great. But the league the competition committee voted on it to either ban it or no. They decided to keep it, which I'm like, okay, that's fine. If you have a play that nobody can stop that's dominant, then kudos to you. But now we start realizing that, hey, there's a false start here. The league, and they actually did call it out. They talk about it with the refs of like, hey, they're jumping every single time. It's brought to the attention of the refs, is brought to the attention of the league, and they decide to run it 4 times on national television, and not one flag was thrown.
In a row.
They have no respect for themselves.
In a row. I'm telling you,
that's sad.
I'm watching this game because as a Giants fan, I'm gonna just be honest. I didn't think we had a chance.
Nobody
right?
did, so, yeah.
I didn't think we had a chance. Yeah. I thought if we could keep it within 2 scores, like, hey, good game, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, hopefully Jackson Dart doesn't get hurt. That's what I'm thinking, right? Yeah. 4 times in a row. 4 times, bro. Jesus Christ.
Speaking of four, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to our next one. Our next one is the AFC North. We're going to focus on the Steelers, who are absolutely running this division. I almost said ruining. But the way that I want to preference this is, are the Steelers legit, or are they benefiting from a trash division? As you can see, the Browns are the Browns. The Ravens are actually 1-5 down Lamar. Derrick Henry has been turned into dirt. We got Joe Burrow that's out for the Bengals. They just traded for a quarterback that's even older than your quarterback, Flores, and trying to save their season. And they're 2-4 right now. So I'm going to start with Flores for this one. Are the Steelers legit, or are they just benefiting from this trash division?
No. I think we're legit, honestly.
That threw me off.
No, move on. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. It's like, no, we're legit. We're going all the way. Next question. No, bro. Honestly, yes, the division does not look great because of injuries in key spots. But the Ravens were 1-3 before they lost Lamar. The Bengals defense was still ass, regardless. I mean, we beat them twice last year, and that was with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. The Browns are the Browns, and we proved that again. Just to throw a little bit of stats for this game, the Browns had the best defense in the league, and it did not matter simply because we know who we are, and I think that's why in this division we are legit. And I think moving forward, we are legit because we can play down and dirty and we can kind of muck up the game. And I've spoken about it's annoying as hell being a Steelers fan because one way or another, we always win ugly, even when we don't need to. Now, Rodgers has been able to take care of the football. The defense is finally stopping the run. I mean, Omarion Hampton Quinshawn Junkins was running all over absolutely everyone these last couple weeks. He was held to 36 yards. And that is a major, major win compared to where we were in week 1 and week 2, where I told you that we were just Swiss cheese. Anybody can run through us. Not anymore. We're finally starting to show up like a team that has veterans and has key guys. Our outside linebacker rotation is finally healthy with Alex Highsmith and Herbig and TJ Watt. They're making noise. They sacked Dylan Gabriel 6 times. Now, I do have to say, Mike Tomlin actually went out, made the comment that Andrew Berry, which is the general manager for the Browns, went and traded Joe Flacco in the division to the Bengals. Why? Like, why are you helping somebody that's already down and dead in the Bengals within your division, and now you're going to give him Joe Flacco? Yes, Joe Flacco is not the Joe Flacco of old, but shoot, you give him Jamar Chase and you give him T. Higgins, and with that rocking arm that he still has, I mean, he's still going to find ways to put it together. And they look not great, formidable, but they look decent against the Packers. Which, by the way, we are playing the Bengals this Thursday, and within the AFC North, the team that goes on the road, which the Steelers are 0-9 the last couple years. So I'm not really too hopeful for this weekend, or this Thursday, but who knows? They're calling it the Icy Hot Bowl. I'm calling it the Silver Fox Bowl. It's just a battle of the old heads. But I think the way that we're playing and we're progressing, and I have a graphic to show with Aaron Rodgers, the difference that he's made. And we saw the 2 years that he had with the Jets. One didn't really count because he was injured. The second year, he was still maybe not himself. But when Big Ben retired, we were 23rd in the red zone. The next year, we have Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. Lord Jesus, I don't know how I made it through that year. We were 23rd in the red zone, 27th in the red zone. Then when we had Mason Rudolph again throwing for 300 yards towards the end of the season. Then we go to 29th with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson in the red zone. And now with Aaron Rodgers, we're 5th in the league in the red zone. And by the way, every single year we made the playoffs.
That's the craziest part.
Yes, it's Tomlin football. And honestly, what we have to do is protect Aaron Rodgers. And that's exactly what we're doing. The big bad 95. Can you point him out in this picture? He's all the way to the right, getting locked up by none other than Broderick Jones, baby. That's right. The guy that I've been hard on this whole time. Pause.
Mhm.
And
Hey, yo.
yeah, pretty much, he was able to handle Miles Garrett. I don't even know. If it weren't for this picture, I would have never found out that Miles Garrett actually played on Sunday because he didn't do jack shit. Um,
Mm.
Look at that pocket, man. That's exactly what we needed to do. Protect Aaron Rodgers on this particular pass was the touchdown to DK Metcalf. We know who we are. We're not going to blow you away. We're not going to score 50 on you. We'll score 17. You'll score 16, but we'll still win.
I love it. I love it. Omar, what do you got for this, man? Do you think that the let me bring this back up. Do you think that the Steelers are a legit team, or do you think that they are benefiting from the division that they are currently in right now?
I just have to go off what Flores just said because he's like giving his team a compliment, but he's like, I am just gonna give him a level of trust, but I don't trust him too much yet.
I don't blame them.
Well, all jokes aside, with the Steelers, we spoke a lot about the first couple of weeks, the first 2-3 weeks identity. They're starting to look like the historic Steelers, that defense, and Aaron Rodgers is looking like he's starting to get into like the groove of things as well. Hopefully he continues. I think if I may say a little bit of both, because that division is kind of like, let's just call it what it is.
That's fair.
It's not a strong division this year, but you can't take away from the talent of the Steelers. You have to win games in order to be successful in winning the division. It's not like it's a walk in the park. You have to fight. But I would say both. I would say a little bit of both. Because like I said, if you look at that division, it's
Yeah.
straight horrible.
And then Ryan, I'll kick it off to you. Is it the Steelers being legit, or is it just a trash division making them look good?
I will say, first off, they did beat the Patriots, who beat the Bills. I just want to throw that out there.
Hey,
Outside of that, however,
Hey.
I'm Daniel. I'm glad you brought up the red zone stat because that's something that I was gonna bring up today as well. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the Steelers have been taking care of the football. They've been scoring when they do get in the red zone. But for the most part, I mean, everything has kind of looked the same. I know you brought in Aaron Rodgers. I know you brought in DK Metcalf. Arthur Smith has been there. But for the most part, it's looked the same as far as we're going to play tough nose, freaking smash mouth defense. Our defense is going to be our identity. We're barely winning games. We're gonna get to the playoffs going 9-8, and then losing the wild card game. Now, I could be wrong, but as far as the style of play from this team, it still looks the same. So while yes, you are taking advantage of a broken division, it looks the same still, is what I'll say. If that makes sense. It still looks like the formula still looks the same. So yes, you are taking advantage of the defense, but or of your division, but the formula still looks the same. And I don't know if that's sustainable going forward.
Flores?
So to rebuttal, that it's sustainable. I mean, it's been sustainable with under Mike Tomlin for a few years. That it's sustainable in the playoffs, no, and that's literally why I always have a hard time, kind of truly believing in this team when it comes down to it, right? To
being
actually
led on.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So yes, this gets me excited, and honestly, this is one of the wins where I want to say maybe last year we would have lost this game. Just rookie quarterback, no expectations whatsoever. The defense for the Browns is really good. Somehow we would have lost this game. The reason why I think we turned the corner is Arthur Smith now finally is starting to switch up his play calling. There's a little bit of more creativeness. It may not look pretty, but there is certain ways to where, and this is where I give kind of Aaron Rodgers the credit, especially with the offense, is if we're facing a good pass rush, the ball's out very quick, very decisive. Now, if you're going to play man to man, that is when we take our opportunity. And that's why we got DK Metcalf, because he is one of the top receivers in one-on-one balls, just flying in the air. Pause. Anyways, and he's able to catch him. Pause again. But
snatching them up.
There has been some creativity, especially using our tight ends and now establishing Darnell Washington, which he's a monster of a man. And now we're playing off of that. The run game with Jalen Warren is starting to get a little bit of juice against a good Browns defense. I can't stress that. Yes, I joke about Myles Garrett, but the Browns are actually
is nice.
A really, really good defense, and we push them around. Now it could be just, again, in division, any given Sunday, and you can throw out all the terms out there. Mm-hmm. It's different, but it's the same. I don't know if that makes sense, but it truly is different, but the same. But my sights as a Steelers fan, and as all Steelers fans, our sights are based on, let's get to the playoffs and now show me if it's different.
A wise man once said in James Franco, same, but different, but still same. Right.
So I'm going to answer this question by defining legit for me. And for me, legit is a Super Bowl contender. Doesn't mean you have to win it, but just being able to be believed as a Super Bowl contender. So for me, I'm going to say the Steelers are not legit. Doesn't mean that they're not good, because they are very good. Their record shows that they are very good. But what it also shows is that they're 14th in points per game, which is 23.8 points per game, which is respectable. But then their defense is allowing the 16th most points per game, which is 21.4. So that's a differential of about less than 2 points, which is why all these games are close as hell.
On brand.
On brand. This is Mike Tomlin football. He wants to win as close as possible. I don't think that's sustainable. Also, because the rushing is 29th in the league. They're only averaging 84 rushing yards per game. They're 25th in passing yards per game, 206 yards. Their defense gives up the 8th most yards per game. If we look at their wins, they beat us. Everybody beat us. They beat the Browns. Everyone's beating up on the Browns. They beat the Vikings with Carson Wentz in Ireland. I thought the Ireland part would give him a little more superpowers, but it didn't work. Yeah, it did not work. We both expected it. It didn't work, though. It did not work.
They bought the belt to the arse.
The arse. and in fact, they did. And then, as Ryan brought up, they did beat the Patriots, which is looking like their best win out of the whole season, because the Patriots are looking pretty damn good. And we
lost a really good Seahawks team, which in retrospect, damn, they're good.
Seahawks are good, but then that does show, when you go against good teams, how easily you guys could fall behind the ball. And you found a way to get out of it with the Patriots. You weren't able to find that with the Seahawks. When you're going against these good teams is how I could determine whether these teams are going to be legit or not. And so far, I don't feel like you've been tested enough for me to put that stamp on you just yet. So I do think that you are going to benefit from the rest of your division being so bad, because you're going to play these guys twice a year, right? So you already got your first win against the Browns. I'm expecting a second win against the Browns. I'm expecting you to win against the Bengals, even with that new Joe Flacco coming in. I expect that to be a win, because this team-wise, your team is better. There's no comparison. Joe Flacco, I was about to say, not Joe Flacco, Joe Burrow is the Bengals offense. As amazing as Jamar Chase is, as great as T. Higgins is, as great of a year Chase Brown had last year, this team does not do anything without Joe Burrow at the helm. He's not there anymore. This is a ship without a captain. So I think you guys are going to take full advantage of that. And also, it's a divisional game. Nobody knows these teams better than you. You guys, you see each other twice a year. So I think that you guys are going to benefit throughout the year of being in this bad division. When Lamar comes back, who knows what the Ravens look like, but the Ravens have the worst defense. And this is coming from the Jets fan, who has the second worst defense, the worst defense in the league. So anything can happen any given Sunday. You guys play Lamar Jackson very well as well.
Yes,
so
we do.
That's a bad recipe for them. So I think you guys are going to benefit a lot from having this bad division. I don't think that the Steelers are a bad team by any stretch of the imagination, but this is also a team that is fairly new. There's a lot of new pieces coming into this team.
Mhm.
As that starts to gel throughout the season and gets even better, maybe there's some of this stuff that gets cleaned up. The defense starts allowing less points. The offense starts they're pretty efficient, but maybe they start bloating up those numbers a little more to try to give yourselves more comfortable leads instead of keeping it so close. And when that starts happens, who knows what's going to happen with the Steelers? We all know they're destined for a playoff. What they do after that, still to be said. TBD. And what we're going to do is we're going to move on to this very next topic that was also spoke on that Macho Talks Sports extra episode with Daniel Flores and Ryan Aybar, who did a great job on that episode. And one of the topics was the MVP of the season, what the odds were looking like. Obviously, those odds last week are looking a little different from the odds from this week. One thing that was said was that Daniel Jones was your guys' MVP up to this point of the season. I was not mad at that. You guys made really great points. It's crazy to hear out loud. Yeah. But if you look into it, it's not that crazy. It's not that crazy. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to start this one with Omar because he was not a part of that episode. So I am curious to see where he goes. And then I'm going to go with you two to see if you guys still stand on that. But for Omar, if the season ended today, because it's a two-part question, who is the MVP today? And then also, who do you think is going to win it when the season is over? Is it the same person? Maybe it's a different person. What do you say?
I'm going to be bold and just say Daniel Jones. I'm going to say Daniel Jones, and I'm going to tell you why briefly. I feel like the MVP award.
Real quick, Daniel Jones, if the season ended today or for both?
For both.
Okay. All right. That's bold. That's bold.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna bold.
I like it.
For me, the MVP award is what you can do for your team, not what you can do for your individual. He's been doing great for that team. He's one of the reasons or the main factor as to why that team has been successful. And I think that's what an MVP is. What can you do for the team? Forget the individual award. Daniel Jones has been balling with that team. Over 1,000 yards, passing yards, 8 touchdowns, 3 intos, like 71% completion. Like, bro, these are Madden type numbers. Like, if come on, like he's balling, he's helping his team. Daniel Jones.
I'm gonna go with Ryan. Ryan, do you agree with what you said in that last episode? Is it still Daniel Jones today? And also, who do you see as the MVP at the end of the season?
Unfortunately, I had to change my pick because of what just took place.
Yep.
This past weekend, I think. So I'm going to read you some numbers. So,
Please.
Fourth in the NFL in passing yards, 1,795, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception, completion percentage, 73.9, passer rating, 139. Now, here, to me, this is the determining factor for me. Fourth quarter comebacks, 4 out of 5 wins. Fourth quarter comebacks. Down 4 receivers. Baker Mayfield. If for some reason the NFL went on lockout today, if Baker Mayfield doesn't win the MVP, we're living in a freaking multiverse because there's no way. Like 4 fourth quarter comebacks out of your 5 wins, down 4 receivers, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception, 139 passer rating, 73.9% completion rating. Like he's averaging 256 passing yards in the air
with
a game.
Well, Ibuka is
there.
But one guy. Yeah.
He's balling, man.
And then if the season that's if the season ended today, who do you see it end up being at the end of the season? Do you still stick with Baker, or do you think somebody else jumps over Baker and ends up winning it?
Baker Mayfield, because if you recall, we had a conversation. I don't know if we recorded it or not. Can't remember, but we were having a conversation about the NFC, and early on, I did pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get out of the NFC. Actually, I don't know if anybody in here recalls that conversation.
I think I remember
But-
talking about it. I'm trying to remember if it was recorded. I don't think it was.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But I did have the Bucks getting out of the NFC. I mentioned them having the formula to beat the Eagles. They did lose to the Eagles this year. But I still think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers find a way. I mean, if they're doing this right now, down 4 receivers,
They're only
Respect
going to
it.
get better.
I don't know. Yep.
I respect it. Now, Mr. Flores, you said Daniel Jones as well in that extra episode. Obviously, we have a extra week of games since that episode. If the season ended today, are you sticking with Daniel Jones as your MVP?
Daniel Jones actually slid 2 spots down.
2. Okay.
2.
Omar.
Josh Allen definitely took a hit, but he is my 4th guy. I actually have Drake May at number 2. I think,
Ooh.
I think honestly, this guy is absolutely balling. This past game, they let him absolutely cook. He was in the air at perfect passer rate. I mean, this kid has all the tools, and it absolutely sucks
That boy
that
nice. I hate
the Patriots finally, they finally suck for just a few years, right? After so many years of dominance of my teen years and my adulthood, it's always been the Pats, and now that it's finally somebody else, and then Patrick Mahomes shows up, of course, but it looks like they're back, man. And at number 1, I also have to agree. You can't deny
Baker.
Can't deny Baker. To this point,
Oh my
the
God.
only victory formation that he's done was this past game. Everything else has been uphill, hard, just like his attitude is just straight running through a wall, competitive, comebacks galore. I mean, this guy has the heart of a champion. And it's wild, just his trajectory that we've mentioned, that he comes all the way from the Browns, wins a playoff game with the Browns, goes through Carolina, goes through wherever, goes through the system and, the Rams, all that, comes to Tampa, and we're actually talking about him. To this point, he is the MVP. Now, at the end of the year, and I have been known to say that the MVP, it is technically a popularity contest. And Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are back. So I still think at the end of the year, because if you look at Patrick Mahomes' numbers, they're not bad at all. I just think, the Chiefs keep it up. They're going to start cooking people again. That's what it looks like. They were my Super Bowl pick to get there. And I'm just going to continue until proven otherwise. That's another disclaimer I throw out there. Until proven otherwise. Patrick Mahomes, to me, I think will win it at the end of the year.
I respect that. So, for me, if the season ended today, I'm also going to go with Baker Mayfield. It is absolutely impossible not to put Baker Mayfield right now for all the stuff that he's had to overcome up until this point.
Yeah.
Still ending up with a 5-1 record. Not only did they lose on offense, they lost Kalijah Cansey, I think, in like week 2 or something like that, which is one of their best defensive players too. And they're finding ways to get it done. That's something that we always speak about when we're looking at these teams that we think are good. Great teams find ways, no matter what the circumstances. Are they always going to win it? No. But they find ways, and no matter what the situation is, Baker Mayfield does not falter. He does not. He's an absolute killer. He's ice cold. It feels, to go back to the Giants for a little bit, it feels like that a little bit with Jackson Dart too, where he's like, he doesn't get phased by that type. And that's a key trait that you love to see in your quarterback. Baker Mayfield had that since, I want to say, since the Browns. That type of mentality.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he also had a lot of immaturity problems that he was also worked in with that. It looks like he got humbled, and since he's been humbled, he's been able to hone into that. And it is amazing to see. If the season ends today, Baker Mayfield is a bad man. He's an
And
absolute.
I'm glad. Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up because he talked about it in an interview about the maturing process that he went through. But not only is his team willing, or is his team winning. Not only is his team winning, he's willing his team to win. Like that is an MVP, right? Like a lot of what has to do with the award is their team's performance. But not only is his team performing, he's willing his team to win. 4 fourth quarter comebacks out of 5 wins, remarkable. Down 4 receivers, just lost Bucky Irvin for a couple weeks. I mean, it is amazing. Give that man his flowers.
Yep,
100%. Now, who's gonna win it at the end of the year? Right? I'm sorry, the sweater's making me hot.
Oh, this guy.
Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is going to win this when the season is over, and I don't even think there's a question. Right now, he is 3-3. Right? He's 6th in passing yards. He has 1,514 passing yards. He's tied for 4th in passing touchdowns with 11. He only has 2 interceptions. He leads his team in rushing. Through 6 weeks, Patrick Mahomes leads his team in rushing. He's not only leading his team in rushing, he has the 3rd most rushing yards out of any quarterback this season with 222. His 3 losses were against the Chargers with no Rashee Rice, with Worthy getting hurt in the first quarter. And the second one was against the Eagles. Still no Worthy. Still no Rice. They only lose by 3 in that game. The 3rd loss is against the Jags. He did have Worthy in that game. But he's still fighting against not having any running back and only having 1 weapon. And up to that point, Worthy still wasn't 100%. He is also still going back and forth with his health issues. And the Jags have one of the best defenses in the league. That's something that's not talked about enough. The Jags defense is real. Still only lost that game by 3. Rashee Rice is coming back this week. Worthy's going to get healthier as the season goes on. I don't know what the hell's going on with that rushing game. It seems like they're starting to get a little bit better after the last 2 weeks. But regardless, speaking of will, Patrick Mahomes is always going to be the greatest weapon in football. As long as you have him on your team, you always have a chance. Always have a chance. Whether it's a 4th quarter comeback, whether you're down by 21, whether it's the Super Bowl, it does not matter. As long as you have Patrick Mahomes, you have a chance. Going back to what Daniel said, this is also a popularity contest. Patrick Mahomes, he's a household name. That it's an easy ballot for people to fill out in some people's mind. Where Baker Mayfield, maybe they would kind of second guess it a little bit because there's still other stuff that gets attached to Baker Mayfield when he was in his immature years and stuff like that. But at the end of the year, Patrick Mahomes will be your MVP.
Yep, I agree.
I love it. Mahomes is nice.
Sure, by the way.
Thank you. Euphoria, Planet Euphoria. Put the ad.
Hey, Macho, what is Planet Euphoria?
Planet Euphoria is a clothing company based out of upstate New York with the best designs and sports tees on the market. They have everything from basketball, football, baseball, music artists, anime, and so much more.
Do they have any deals?
Right now, they have a buy one, get one 50% off promo for a limited time. But if you want to save just a little bit more, use code Macho Talks Sports for 25% off of your entire order.
That's so cool. I'm going to order some right now. What's the website again?
PlanetEuphoria.com. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description. PlanetEuphoria.com. Let them know that Macho Talks Sports sent you.
That's right.
Okay.
Hey, yo, we got Mahomes at home. All right.
I like that. So we're going to move on. We're going to move on to this next topic, which is what is the best team in the NFL today? And if you guys don't mind, I would like to go first on this one. It's going to be a lot of regurgitating what you guys said, so I'm going to kind of condense it because for me right now, it's the Bucs. They're 5-1. They're doing it without their top 2 receivers. Played the last 2 games without Bucky Irvin, and then Ibuka got hurt this last game, but they still won. Baker Mayfield is playing out of his mind right now, and they're only going to get better as the season goes on, as they get more healthy. So for right now, I'm going to say it is the Bucs. hands down. Mr. Omar, what is the best team in the NFL today to you?
Hey, I'm gonna go against what you guys are saying. The Colts. The Colts to me are the best
I'm
team
not
in
mad.
the NFL.
I'm not
The
mad.
Colts.
That's a good call. And why is that?
You have Danny Dimes leading the way. Enough said.
That's all it takes.
That's
What
all it
about
takes.
Jonathan Taylor? Jonathan Taylor's been killing it. The defense has been pretty
He was
good.
there before.
We talk
He was there before
about
they sucked last year.
the Dimes. You hear that, Danny Dimes?
So Omar got the Colts. We're gonna go to Ryan. Ryan, what is the best team in the NFL today?
I agree, man, with Macho. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, given
They're nice.
what they're missing and them still having the ability to perform and get it done on a week-to-week basis. Like, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the best team in the NFL right now.
Love it. Love it. And then what is your best team of the NFL today, Flores?
Today, I mean, all four of us, it's pretty much they're both number one seed. Two right now, 6 weeks in.
Right now.
AFC number one seed is in Indianapolis Colts, and the NFC is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There is no really wrong answer here, but I am also, because of all the circumstance that Baker has to go through in order to 6 weeks in. I mean, it's not the Lions, it's not the Eagles, it's not the Packers, it's not the it's the Bucks. And yeah, I agree. Bucks all the way.
I love it. Now, Omar, the Colts are not a bad pick. I'm not mad at you picking the Colts. Like that is still a great pick. The Colts are absolute balling this year. Nobody saw this coming. Now, I thought as the season progressed a little bit and teams got a little more tape on them, maybe that would slow them down. It has not. It has not. They're winning on both sides, offense and defense. And shout out to the Colts. Shout out to Danny Dimes. Shout out to freaking Michael Pittman was playing hurt last year. A healthy Michael Pittman with a quarterback, you could see what he could do. Josh Downs looks good. Jonathan Taylor, monster. This Colts team is real. And credit to them. Credit to them. So that I still like that pick. Now,
I just want to say I always believed in Daniel Jones.
You did. I would never. There's so many things that we're always going to go back and forth on. When you say that, I would never go back with you. No. It used to be back then. I can't no more. I can't. He won the debate. He won the debate. True. I will always concede when he says that he believed in him 100%, even when the Giants were trash. So now what we're going to do is I want us to all highlight a player because obviously as we do this thing, there's a lot of negative stuff that we have to throw at some people. I wanted us to try to just pinpoint one person that we think are having a great season so far and just highlight them. Maybe it's somebody that is already constantly highlighted. Maybe it's somebody that people are sleeping on. So just one player that you would like to highlight from this season, and I'm going to start with Ryan. What is that player for you?
Brian Burns, tied for first in sacks with 7. He has 19 solo tackles on the season. And in his game against the Eagles alone, 2 sacks, 7 tackles, 3 of which were solo. Brian Burns, that is what we paid you for. Micah Parsons, who? Go get me that Defensive Player of the Year award, baby. Let's go, Giants.
I like it. Omar, what is that player that you would like to highlight from this year?
I'm actually going to go away from my team and go to Big Blue's running back. I like him.
Oh, okay. Cam Scatterbull?
Oh, I don't even pronounce his name because I am not worthy to pronounce his name. He is.
You just got to scream. That's his name.
I'm going to headbutt the wall.
There you go. The player I want to highlight.
I think that he is so like unique, like personality and just his skill. He has so much. I mean, he has heart. He's strong. He's physical, and I think that I love watching him play and his energy. I just love it. He gets you hype. He's like, yo, what is this guy gonna do next on the field? That's the type of mentality you have watching him play. Go Big Blue.
I'm not mad at it. 338 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns on the season, and he didn't even start as the starter. He didn't take over starting duties until what, Ryan, week 4 or or week 3?
Week 3 against Kansas City.
Against Kansas City. And that was even midway during the game because that's when Tracy got hurt in the middle of Kansas City.
Got hurt. I think he got hurt in week 2.
Was it week 2? Okay. But
I
regardless,
so, yeah.
good shout out. Good shout out. Cam Scatterbull has absolutely been balling. Flores, what is that player that you would like to highlight?
I want to highlight somebody that didn't fit in New York, goes to Minnesota, and we put all the praise on Kevin O'Connell, which we definitely should.
Mm-hmm.
But then he leaves, he gets his nice payday, and we're thinking, that was just the Vikings offense. He goes to Seattle, and he maintains his starting role. His potential is finally reached in Sam Darnold. This guy has completely impressed me. I saw him up close and personal when they played the Steelers and they beat us. I honestly thought that was going to be a terrible contract, kind of like the Geno Smith contract, where it's just like, hey, just one good year, maybe 2 good years, and that's it. Sam Darnold is looking great. The Seahawks right now have the 5th points per game in the league. Who would have thought that would have been said in a sentence a few years ago by a Sam Darnold-led offense? I'm happy for the dude, really.
That's a good shout out because Sam Darnold was one of the guys that I was kind of anticipating falling flat on his face this year. I love JSN. Flat on his face?
You said I was kind of anticipating falling flat on his face.
I anticipated him falling flat on his face.
You didn't say him, though.
I did.
That's why I said pause.
Sam Darnold is one of the guys that I was kind of anticipating falling flat on his face this year. Seriously, in all seriousness, I did think that he wasn't going to do well, to the point where I thought that they would bring in the backup quarterback, that his name is slipping my mind right now.
Jalen
Milroe, exactly. I thought Milroe would come in at some point of the middle of the season, probably, because they did give Sam Darnold some money. So I thought he'd get some runway to at least about week 10, and then we see Milroe come in. But no, he's been playing well. JSN is looking like one of the best wide receivers, and part of that is due to the way that Sam Darnold's playing. Got to give him some credit for that. So that's a good shout out. I'm gonna go with what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go the Ryan route, and I'm gonna go with defense. I'm going to shout out Devin Lloyd, linebacker for the Jags. 28 total tackles. This linebacker is actually leading the league in interceptions right now with 4. Shout out to him. 2 pass deflections, a fumble recovery, even a tutty. The Jags are 4-2. They have one of the best defenses in the league, and he is a huge part of that. Again, weird as hell to say the Jags have a good defense. I think the only person that I even heard about the Jags having potentially a good defense was Omar around week 1 or 2, which is an early call at that point because nobody's expecting it, but they've been maintaining it. So that was a good call by him. And I remember I called it a top 5 defense, Macho, including the Broncos. I put the Broncos, the Packers, and all of them on that list of good defenses. And I thought you were bugging. I'll be honest. And no, you called it. You called it, and I got to give you credit for that because they look legit. That defense looks legit. Duval somehow is pulling through. He's pulling. He's to the point where he's looking at Robert Saleh and saying, "Keep my name out your damn mouth." Like them boys have some grit this year. So shout out to Jacksonville. Let's see if they're able to keep it up. This is only 6 games in. We have to keep that in mind. Even though 6 games is a good sample size, that's not even halfway during the season. We're only a third way into it. So it's going to be very, very fun to see how some of these people actually maintain and how some of these people fall on their face and see how that works out. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go into our favorite segment of the show, Let Him Cook.
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
Let him cook. Let him cook. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with Flores because he just stole the attention right there. Flores, what is your let him cook for the week?
I can't cook, bro. Like, oh my. This is how. This is every time we go through this segment. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna cook it up. Yeah. No, I got my little clown nose. That's literally how I feel. But you know what? YOLO. I'm gonna swing for the fences again. I have the Buccaneers going into the Lions den, regardless of how hurt that defense is, regardless of how hurt that offense is. Baker Mayfield is that guy. And I have a feeling they're going to put the hands on the Lions and win by 7. I have Baker throwing for 2 tutties and 250. Yeah, we shall see. Go Bucks.
Okay.
None of us could cook, by the way. So you're not alone there. None of us have hit it yet. Omar, what is your let him cook for the week?
The 49ers will not need this. They will have nobody will get injured this week. The Bills have to remind themselves, I'm going to use this mirror, who we are. We have to remind ourselves who we are, and they're just going to win. They need to win. If they don't win, it's not going to be let them cook. They are cooked. That's what this segment is going to turn out to be if the Bills don't turn it around. They're cooked.
So just a Bills win, that's all?
That's it. Keeping it simple and hoping for a win.
Ryan, what do you have for let him cook this week?
So if, and this is a big if the Panthers are up big at halftime, I think we see a quarterback change. I think Tyrod Taylor starts the second half for the New York Jets. I think Aaron Glenn, if it's a big if for some reason now I'm not predicting this, but if for some reason the Panthers go up big at half, right? I think we see a quarterback change. Aaron Glenn, I think he's starting to feel that pressure, right? You're 0-6, New York media, big market, New York fans. Probably it's the best place to win, worst place to lose, right? There's a standard. You're not meeting it. And if you're down at half to the Panthers, big, I feel like it has to happen. And if it doesn't, oh boy.
I mean, with that Jets defense, there's a chance because they put the hands on the Cowboys this past week.
Hopefully that defense continues what they did this past week and show up. Jermaine Johnson coming back was a big acquisition for us. We needed someone like him. Yeah. I don't even want to think what the hell is going to look like if we are down big by
again
halftime.
Big if, right?
No, I know it's if.
Yeah.
It's an if. But now I'm just putting myself in that mode. I don't know how the hell I'm going to feel at that point.
I'm so sorry.
At this point, at the way that the season is going, that is a possibility, right? That is a possibility. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at these two trash teams here with the Dolphins being 1-5 and the Browns being 1-5. One of these teams are going to have to get the win. I think that the Browns end up with the W here.
Let me put on their jerseys.
I think that the Browns end up coming out with the win. I think that this is also a blowout. I think that they win by 15 or more points. Now, that's scary because the Browns don't put up points. But the Dolphins' defense is trash. Absolute trash. I think the Browns love to run the ball. They're great at it. Judkins is a really good running back. I see the Browns winning by 15 or more points. I see Judkins rushing for over 100 yards. And I think their midget of a quarterback ends up throwing for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns.
You know,
I'll tell you what.
2 times this past weekend against the Steelers.
What was that?
Times.
Oh, yeah, 52. Oh, yeah, the attempts? Yes, yes.
That's wild. What?
Hey, I'll tell you what, Macho. If the Browns win by 15 or more, there's no way in hell. I know earlier in the season I predicted that Mike Daniel would get fired, but that was only under the condition that the Patriots beat them by a lot, which didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
If the Browns beat the Dolphins by 15 or more, Mike McDaniel's out of here. He's gone.
And their one win is to us, which we have no wins yet. Does
Yeah,
that count?
he's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
Hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for, honestly. But at the same time, I do think that it is possible. I think the Browns find a way to turn it around against them, and if they don't, they need to start looking at Shador Sanders. Honestly, I don't think Dylan Gabriel is the answer there. Maybe Shador isn't the answer either. But if this season is already a who the hell cares type of season, why not see both of them? Why not use this
every year.
That is kind of low key every year. They did have a couple of runs like 2 years ago or something like that with Joe Flacco, but Joe Flacco, man, there's so much that can be said about Joe Flacco. But going into the end of this episode, I want to thank you boys for coming out. This was a hell of an episode. It was good to talk ball with you guys. Looking forward to doing it again. That extra episodes that dropped on Saturday, I'm looking to probably drop another one this week. So who knows? Probably see some more of us. If not, this episode was amazing. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank everybody that watched today. And we are out.